Michigan first. You played in that Michigan game last year.
Yeah.
You were there last year. Can you just real quick just talk about that experience, man? Just the 27-24 loss, man. I felt like we won that game. Can you talk about that real quick before we really get into it?
Yeah, well, last year, we were fired up. That was actually my third time playing them. I played them twice when I was with Ohio State. That was my second time playing at the Big House. And, man, the game got off to a great start. For us. We were really, we were stuffing that run, and we were doing a nice job on defense. And late in the game, it kind of felt like we had the game in the bag. Kind of felt like we were going to win that thing. They get the ball back, and then next thing you know, we give up two explosive runs, and an explosive run that we didn't give up all game, and that one really, really hurt. So I know these guys, talking to these guys, getting ready for this one. There's a lot. They want that redemption big time because we felt like we definitely let that game slip away last year in Ann Arbor. Now they got to come to the Coliseum.
Absolutely. Like, what do you think that USC could learn from this, especially last year, this style of play, Sharon Moore?
Yeah,
he's the coach. We saw what they did. We saw what they did with Alex Orji, man, how he wasn't even a guy that necessarily would throw the ball around.
Right.
But, they pretty much knew that he was going to run it. Like, what do you think USC can learn from the style of play that was played last year at Michigan?
Yeah, well, the good thing about Michigan is they kind of stick to that blueprint, especially with Sharon Moore. I mean, I remember when Sharon Moore stepped in for Harbaugh when Harbaugh got suspended, and it was against Penn State. I mean, he ran the ball something like 30 times in a row. I don't know if you remember that game. They stick to that blueprint. And Underwood, even with Underwood as their quarterback now, it's kind of the same. The run game evolves a little bit, and they're doing a little bit more stuff with Underwood. But the blueprint's out there. They're going to try to run the ball. They're going to get big guys in the game, get movement on the offensive line, and they're going to stick to that. So Coach Lynn should have a very firm game plan. Looking back on last year, seeing what worked for him, and then kind of watching Michigan throughout the years. It's just Michigan's one of those teams that they have that blueprint, and they're going to stick to that blueprint, especially against USC with us, slipping up against Illinois. So we know what they're going to come into the Coliseum with. Coach Lynn knows what they're going to come in with. They're going to try and pound that rock, and he can learn a lot from last year's game and what he's seen on film this year.
No, absolutely. And you guys see the title, Elijah Page possibly returning. You guys see the question mark. I saw where he came out to practice, looked like he was suited up today. We'll get into that as it relates to the offensive line and what the impact that could be. But real quick, I kind of want to talk about the blueprint. I felt like Penn State last year, the blueprint that they used, Coach Lynn, when Penn State was a more effective running team last year than they are this year. But what was the blueprint and what was the defense that they ran last year, Lynn, especially since you was on that team?
Yeah, you're talking about when we played Penn State, right, last year?
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it starts in the week of practice. I remember Coach Lynn was talking about those backs that Penn State had last year, and he emphasized stopping the run every single day, every single meeting. It starts with that. It starts with, you are what you emphasize, and he really emphasized that during the week. And then schematically, it was getting guys in the box, letting the backers play quick, blitzing the linebackers, not letting them have to worry about a whole lot going on, getting them going downhill and shooting gaps, and then the safeties on the back end just being in spots to clean stuff up. But he's aggressive, and he's going to – and we talk about this, Jay, real quick, and I've been talking about all year. Like, last year when I was with the Trojans, it was a lot of – the DBs were on islands. We were stacking the box. We were selling out a little bit to stop the run. And also we struggled with pass rush last year. So we really were on an island. And I've been saying this whole season that I expect Coach Lynn to kind of get back to that. And this is the perfect week for it because Underwood, young quarterback, he's struggling to get the ball down the field. He's getting better each week. But I really want to get after this quarterback, make him uncomfortable, and then we'll just stack the box and sell it on the run.
No doubt. So is that the way you kind of see it being structured, just us stacking the box? And by the way, I kind of feel like we talked about the Illinois game, how essentially there was no pass rush. I feel like they'll get back to that. Being that they were leading the nation prior to that, like 18 sacks or whatever. Do you see it like stacking the box? And do you possibly see maybe going to three linebackers opposed to just the nickelback?
Oh, 100%. I remember that was another thing, Coach Lynn is definitely going to be getting 3 linebackers rolling. I bet you don't see a whole lot of nickel, to be honest, at all. I mean, I would be surprised if you see a lot of it.
That's what I was kind of, yeah.
Well, I would be, knowing Coach Lynn, I think, and knowing how Michigan are going to approach this game, especially after Illinois, I think you're going to see a lot of Jaden Walker in there, which I really think he's been coming along.
I love Jaden Walker, man.
Yeah, he's the physical force. You might get to see Tone Beavers in there, but you're going to see Coach Lynn really emphasizing stopping that run, and kind of the corner's going to have to win on the outside, which I know they're going to be looking to bounce back. But I expect pressure. I expect them heating up, and I think you're going to see a lot of Jaden Walker. That's the guy I want to see. I
want to see him too.
Every week he's been coming up a little bit, getting better and better and better. Me being around him, just kind of knowing how he is as a competitor. He's going to help us a lot, other than just on the field stuff, because he's got that juice to him. So I think Gentry played really well last year against Michigan.
Yeah. He led tackles last year.
Yeah, and he made, getting the long arms on the ball. So him, and then Desmond Stevens, I really expect to see a lot of 3 linebackers in the game this week. Base defense is what Coach Lynn would call that.
So if it's that base defense, so you see Desmond, you think you'll see Desmond, Gentry, and Jaden Walker at the same time, or Tamir Robinson, number 14. I think he wears number 14.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see a combination of guys, but I just think, I don't know about you, Jay, but I really like when Walker's out there. He's making plays. He's making tackles.
Yeah.
And in the Illinois game, they did a quarterback draw, and he was like on a one-man island with him in the blocker, and he sheds the blocker and makes the play.
He closed down, yeah.
Yeah, I've just seen a lot out of Jaden Walker that I'm really liking this year, and he seems like he's been progressing every single week. So I think you're going to see a lot of them. I mean, that's kind of my guess.